Welcome to episode 72 of the My House podcast. I am not Michelle Overstreet, but I am Isaac Smolden, and today I'm super excited to have Karl back with us from the E.A.R project. Karl, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate the opportunity to come back on here.
So you were here, how long ago was it at this point?
A little bit over a year, I believe.
Yeah, you were telling me before we were set up that the table was still in here, so it had to have been more than a year ago.
Yeah.
And today we're just going to be chatting about some of the updates that have gone on with your project and what you guys have going on now. And it's great timing for this because we have Recovery Month coming up in just a little under 2 weeks from today.
What a great event. Yeah, you guys have been really successful at that, you know.
Yeah, it's always one of my favorite months because we get to do, even though it feels like summer's over and that's usually when everyone else's events shut down. It's like our busiest month. We've got 3 of them going on this year. Black Birch Books, Thursday, September 3rd, Black Birch Books, Thursday, September 10th, both at 5:30 p.m. Ramon Raccoon, well, no, I guess he's Ramon Rodriguez for the purposes of Acquire the Fire on September 3rd. He's doing a panel discussion. And then he's Ramon Raccoon on September 10th because Brad is going to be giving away copies of both books and doing a sneak peek of Aaron Akina. And then there's the Walk for Recovery on September 19th, Saturday.
Another great event. 12
p.m. at the Target parking lot. But that's what we've got going on. What is going on with the E.A.R project?
So, you know, the E.A.R project has it's evolved a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Originally, we're doing, and we still are really doing the advocate, educate, recover model, right? Some things that they've really kind of taken a different turn is I'm spending a lot more time being out in the homeless camps.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been partnering with Project Hope, picking up between 50 and 100 Narcan kits every week and going out and distributing them. And so the thing that I've really learned out there is that, and it's one of my most major concerns, is that the fentanyl crisis is changing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not in a good way. Now, historically, if we look back, it really began with the OCs, the Oxycontins, and developed into the old school heroin. And then all of a sudden, here comes the fentanyl. And quite frankly, what I've learned is that we're still on our heels from that.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have a whole different class of synthetic opioids that are flooding the state. And those are come from a class called niazines. And under that would be carfentanil, xylazine.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is that, Isaac, the homeless camps out there, sometimes they're out there by themselves. And so their margin of error is very narrow.
Right.
Sometimes they're using by themselves. And if there's nobody around to help them, you're in real trouble. You know, so I've been putting together literature on how to help somebody if they're encountering an overdose. Right now we're doing harm reduction
Mm-hmm.
because we're not stopping it, you know, unfortunately. But, you know, thanks to great places like you guys, My House, man, I'm just, you know, I'm really almost overwhelmed every time I come here with new stuff you guys are doing. And it is such a great agency.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what a wonderful thing to come out here and see you guys evolving all the time.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that. And as someone that's done some of that encampment outreach with Officer Ruth and Tanya from the APD Hope team and with TNR's mobile crisis team,
Mm-hmm.
To me, the most important thing, you know, in that role is those conversations, right? Like we might have sandwiches with us, we'll have Narcan kits with us, but the goal there is to continue to remind folks that recovery is possible, that there are pathways, there are people that are willing to walk alongside with them if and when they're ready to make the choice to change their life for the better. What are some of the conversations that you're having in that role in the encampment outreach?
Well, you know, it's taken a better, because I go out there by myself a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's taken the better part of a year for them to be welcoming to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, at first I got to like, hey, I'm not here to hurt anybody, harm anybody, expose anybody. I'm just here to try to help you either get into treatment or whatever it is, I could be a more effective servant to you. Because really, that's what we are. We're servants to the community,
Hmm.
taking our place. And there's been a couple of sketchy times. I've been attacked, man. And one of them I was able to de-escalate. And the other one turned a little bit different. So I had to defend myself. But then now that I come out there, I show up. People are like, "Hey, Carl,"
Hmm.
and so there's not all that standoffish, type thing going on. A lot of the, the end goal really, and I want when I leave there, I want them to know that you know, it not only it's not always about how do I want to say this? Um, not only is my goal to make sure that nobody overdoses tonight, but when I leave there, they have some hope that tomorrow can be different.
Hmm.
You know, and I've had the opportunity to partner with True North and a couple agencies in town to where if somebody says, "Hey, I'm ready to go right now," I was like, "Let's go."
Right.
And I get on the phone and I can take them straight into detox. And then from there, I talk to Adult and Teen Challenge or whoever to get them straight into treatment.
Right.
And it's been so far, we've had 12 people go right into detox, stick it out, and go right into treatment. And what a wonderful, that's where the payoff is,
Hmm.
to get to be a small seed of their journey back to wellness. What a great opportunity to be a part of that with them.
Yeah, and something that we talk about a lot, and you really highlight there is how important that immediacy is, right? Because if someone's ready to make that decision to make that change, they're ready in that moment. Then
Yeah,
they might not be ready a day later. They might not be ready an hour later.
yeah,
And so you know that work of being physically present in those camps, at meeting people where they're at, it's so important because you can pass out all the brochures in the world. You can, you can say that, oh, there's resources over here or over there. Really, if you're not a phone call away, or sometimes if you're not, right there with them in that moment, they're not going to have the opportunity to make that change. And so, thank you for what you're doing in that regard,
absolutely.
because it is life changing work. I know that to some people that the problem seems so massive, but when you're talking about 12 people that enter detox, have entered treatment, it creates this ripple effect, right?
Mm,
Not only does it provide those individuals with the pathway to never be homeless again, to never have to live in that addiction again, but
right.
that's transformative for their kid, their grandkids, down to the third and fourth generation, right? That is a huge part of our philosophy, and I think also I assume that you would say yours as well.
Yeah, absolutely. A couple of things. I'm trying to work with providers
Hmm.
to understand what the verbiage is with people, because I'm trying to essentially be the bridge that gaps the two. Because they're scared. They already have this preconceived notion, and they're carrying this stigma of I'm an addict or whatever the case may be, and they're clinging on to the very small bit of hope that they have in their lives, which is they're gonna protect it.
Hmm.
You know, um, and that just that little bit of hope and that self esteem hopefully will be enough to say, "Hey, I need help right now."
Hmm.
You know, um, the old school heroin type of detoxification was generally 5 to 7 days with a subgroup of detoxification lasting out a month or so, but not as prevalent as what you're seeing with these new synthetic analogs.
Hmm.
The detox time now is generally 21 days, and I'm not quite sure. 21 days is a long time to be deathly sick and
Yeah.
ill. You're going
Yeah.
to stop it one way or another. So, with medical assisted treatment through the detox centers, they're able to give them some things that help them with, the titration down from the detox. And it's been very successful so far. Um, Fall semester, I'm starting back up at Last Pacific University. And because I've worked a lot in substance abuse,
Hmm.
and what I see also out there is one of the biggest gatherings of trauma that I've it's in combination, like you're talking about, co-occurring disorders.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not simply just substance abuse anymore. Substance abuse is the driving factor to cushion their trauma
Mm-hmm.
that they're experiencing. So we can go through substance abuse and those type of things, and hey, stay away from people, places, and things. You're going to be okay. But the trauma operates in a whole different arena. They're not always familiar with the triggers or whatever is going on. So the more people that are treating people with co-occurring disorders, such as you guys are getting into that arena, is such a wonderful thing because it's one of the very elements that's being missed nowadays.
Right.
And thankfully, more agencies are catching on to co-occurring disorders, and to see the nonstop circulation of people. Hey, they came through for substance abuse. How come they're not getting better? Or,
Right.
why we see them a month later? Well, and I get to obviously, get out there and highlight that to providers that are not providing that for the individuals seeking treatment. And so through APU, I'm Las Pacific University, I'm in the counseling psychology program. And so I get to be more informed. The better informed we are, because, sooner or later we're going to run into that person who needs help. And the better equipped we are with the tools to help them, the better chance that they stand. But yeah, other than that, it's just been really out there grinding and trying to get out there as much as possible every other weekend at least. You see just this evolution of change in and unfortunately these xylazines are coming with physiological factors.
Right.
See people with open lesions and wounds that are not healing, and their legs are swelling. Well, first off, the xylazines that's being mixed with fentanyl is used for animals.
Mm-hmm.
So the human body metabolizes that differently. And also the classic Narcan kits are not helping. And that's the real unfortunate part about it. It sedates them so heavily, and it slows down their central nervous system, that the Narcan's not bringing them back. And unfortunately, we all know what happens after that.
Yeah.
you know.
Well, I think that that's why the work that you're doing is so important. That's why for Recovery Month, we do our best to educate not only about what is out there and the dangers of it, but also how people can make that change. And I truly believe that here in the Mat-Su we have one of the most powerful recovery communities in the nation. That this is becoming the hub for that healing. It's a beacon of hope, I think,
Yeah,
for folks
absolutely.
that need it. And so I would just encourage anyone who has been considering making that decision, making that choice to reach out to My House, reach out to True North Recovery, to Set Free, to Banyan, Adult and Teen Challenge, the South Central Foundation. There are so many AARS. There are so many avenues out here to make that first step towards a better tomorrow. And as we conclude, Karl, how can people continue to be updated about the work that you're doing and continue to be involved with the
Well,
E.A.R project?
I actually came prepared this time. We had cards made, the E.A.R project, and we have contacts on the back of that. And my phone is on 24/7, and I leave that available for people to call if you just need to talk. If you want to come on the show and share, uh, when your voice feels silent, you can come on there and express yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And we're talking about real stories of real lives that are happening, connections with families, getting people well again. And we're doing our podcast right now, but we got Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and Podbean. So go to this podcast if you want to have any information. I'll leave some cards here with Isaac.
And we will have the link in the description of
Yeah.
this episode as well. Perfect.
Thank you.
Karl, thank you so much for joining us
Absolutely.
today.
I really enjoy coming here, man.
The My House podcast is recorded in the My House recording studio in Wasilla, Alaska. Our producer and editor is Ozzy Keener, and for Michelle Overstreet and everyone here at My House, I've been Isaac Smolden. Until next time.